Hey, kids. We're a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 138th Simpsons podcast.
We don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. All we want is life beyond the Blunderdome.
That's right. We're the podcast that explores The Simpsons from seasons 11 and beyond. Why 11 and beyond, you ask? Well, we know there are plenty of other podcasts out there that explore seasons 1 through 10, the golden age, if you will. But we want to know, is there gold in these other ages from seasons 11 and beyond? I am half an annoyed grunt boy, Steve, and I can't do this on my own. So with me, as always, is my co-host,
the other half annoyed grunt boy, Craig.
Hey, Craig, how's it going? Happy New Year.
Oh, happy New Year indeed. Steve, I hope you had a wonderful holiday break.
I did. It was, a little different this year, but, still nice.
Yeah.
And I want to say, Craig, that last week, it was not only the holidays, but we reached a milestone. We made 100 episodes of this dumb thing that we do.
Can't believe we accomplished something.
I'm proud of us. And so for that, I got you a little something. And so if you could play clip 1, please.
Craig, this is Bill Oakley, former head writer and showrunner of The Simpsons, and also the author of the much-memed Steamed Ham segment. Sounds like you may already know who I am based on the fact that you do these Simpsons reviews with Steve. And Steve wants me to tell you, well, happy holidays, obviously, but he also wants me to tell you that it has been a total delight reviewing these Simpsons episodes with you. And he says that you've done 100 crappy episodes. I wouldn't probably say they're crappy, but he says that you guys have done 100 crappy reviews, and he looks forward to doing 100 more. So in any case, happy holidays. It's delightful. I'm delighted that you are doing these reviews. It sounds like something I should check out. And anyway, congratulations on your 100 episodes.
That's awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Of course.
This isn't us doing a silly voice. That actually is a writer extraordinaire, Bill Oakley himself. Steve got me a little cameo there. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, for those of you not aware, Cameo is an app where you can pay celebrities from all spectrums to make a little video for you and send it to friends and loved ones.
So yeah, you go on to cameo.com and you find someone to send a video, and you write a little thing, like message for them to say and like convey your feelings to the person that you want to give that cameo to. So that was really sweet of you, Steve. I really appreciate that. It was a big surprise. Bill Oakley we've talked about him on the podcast before, and we're just huge Bill Oakley fans, and mostly because he lives here in Portland and loves fast food as much as us.
That's right.
So it's funny that you did that because I too wanted to give you something Simpsons related as a gift on this podcast. I thought that'd be fun. Like going to cameo.com and typing in like Simpsons writers or actors, it's kind of hard because like Nancy Cartwright and Yeardley Smith, like they're there, but they're not available at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Dan's not on it. Julie Kavanaugh's not on it. Hank Azaria's not on it. Harry Shearer definitely probably wouldn't be on it. So it's kind of hard. Like there's not a lot of like Simpsons people that are on it. Luckily though, there's another actor, and I think it's going to segue into this episode. Yeah, guest star from the episode we're going to be reviewing. I wrote down some of my feelings about you for this actor to express. So I sent you a clip. So if you could go ahead and play clip 2 there.
Alrighty, this is very exciting. I can't wait to hear this.
Hey, Steven. It's Mel.
Oh, you're there. I just want you to know that your whole relationship with me, everything about you was an offense to me and offended me and pissed me off. You offend me on every fucking level. You're not a fucking woman. You're a fucking fake. That's your M.O., isn't it, baby? That's your M.O. You fucked me up. You're a fucking sham. Everything about you stinks, and I'm seeing it real loud and clear. You don't know what the fuck it means to make a man happy. You are provocatively dressed all the time with your fake boobs you feel you have to show off in tight outfits and tight pants and stuff. You see your pussy from behind. And that green thing today was enough. That's provocative. You need a fucking bat in the side of the head. You don't have any fucking friends except me. And you treat me like shit. So that's why I'm so fucking angry. Because I don't have any friends. You fucking offend me. And you don't care about anyone but yourself and your fucking stupid fucking failed career. And it's ruined us. I will never forgive you for what you've done to me. You fucking bitch. You should just fucking smile and blow me. Because I deserve it. And that's it. call me back. I think we should discuss the terms of separation. Don't you? Don't you think? Yes? Let's do it. Selfish bitch. All right, fuck you. Do what you're good at. Whatever the fuck that is.
Wow.
Yeah, your feelings that you wrote down to Bill were really nice, and apparently mine were not as nice. I apologize.
I mean, you didn't say anything that wasn't true. I
mean,
do wear tight pants. I don't
so
have many friends aside from you. Yeah, it tracks.
So thanks, Mel, for recording that for me and for Steve.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier than that. Hey, that's a great segue.
Yeah, today we're talking about season 11, episode 1, Beyond Blunderdome. That episode came out on September 26th, 1999. Hey, Craig, what was the #1 movie in the box office?
Well, I'm pretty sure at that time it was Alex Trebek's favorite movie, Double Jeopardy. It's a woman is framed for her husband's murder, suspects he is still alive, as she has already been tried for the crime. She cannot be re-prosecuted, and she finds and kills him. Tommy Lee Jones, Ashley Judd, Bruce Greenwood, Bruce Campbell,
Oh.
Annabeth Gish. She's one of the Bartlett daughters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I never saw it. Did you ever see? I get these movies like
I get this one and the U.S. Marshals confused.
I get this in like Along Came the Spider.
That
and, like,
one too,
Kiss the
yeah.
Girls, because I think what's Ashley Judd's in both those. I think.
Yeah, and Morgan Freeman's in one of them. Or
But I
both
think
of
those
them?
are sequels. Yeah, Kiss the Girls and High Crimes.
Yeah,
Along
High
Came a
Crimes.
Spider. I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're kind of going back to 1999.
Oh, yeah.
This is the earliest episode of The Simpsons we could ever review.
No episode earlier ever would be possible.
Well, what were we? We were seniors in high school, Steve.
It's true.
So what were we jamming to?
Well, the #1 song that we drive around to listen to would be the Billboard Hot 100 hit, Unpretty by TLC.
At the end of the day, I have myself to blame. I'm just tripping. You can buy a hair that won't grow. You can fix your nose if you say so. You can buy all the makeup the Mac can make. But if you can look inside you, find out who am I to be in the position to make me feel so damn unpretty.
Steve, were you a Tender Loving Care fan?
I was a fan of the Learning Channel.
Yeah, there you go. TLC. Too legit to
Clip?
Jesus. Steve, I feel unpretty all the time.
Yeah, me too. And so
Well-
does Left Die because she burned down that house.
Huh?
She burned down at her ex-boyfriend's house.
Oh.
Then she died.
I feel like a lot of people we're going to talk about in this episode are dead.
I think you're right.
Speaking of this episode, what's it about?
Homer becomes a powerful Hollywood consultant and gives Mel Gibson advice on his forthcoming historical drama.
That's a really crappy description.
It really is. Homer and Mel Gibson remake Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
I like that better.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter too.
Yep. Hey, let's go take a break. But again, thanks for the cameo from Bill Oakley. One of these days, maybe we should actually talk to him on this podcast.
That would be great. And thank you for the Mel Gibson cameo. Maybe we shouldn't talk to him.
In this break, Steve is going to finally shut up and blow me, as requested by Mel Gibson.
That's right. Here we go.
You can look inside you. Be in a position to make me feel so.
And we're back. Today we're talking about Beyond Blunderdome, the first episode of the 11th season, so technically the earliest episode that we could ever possibly watch forever. It originally aired on September 26, 1999. It is episode 227 in the show's run. Your nerd code is AABF23. It was written by Mike Scully and directed by Stephen Dean Moore.
Mr. Scully.
Mm-hmm.
We hardly get episodes that he penned.
It's true. We do get some shows from him, but not too many written.
I think the only ones left that we're allowed to review are How I Spent My Strummer Vacation, The Parents Rap, and Behind the Laughter. He wrote one of my favorite episodes, Lisa on Ice.
One of the best episodes.
Easily top 3, I think.
Yeah.
Top 5, top 3. 2 Dozen Greyhounds, Marge Be Not Proud, which is another great episode.
My favorite Christmas episode.
Yep. I
Maybe.
think my favorite's The Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
That's just because it's a classic. Too bad we'll never review that because it's, the first episode.
Right. And not season 11 and beyond.
Nope. So Lisa's Rival was his first, but got a lot of credits in his credit belt.
I want a credit belt.
Instead, you have one of those coin belts that is the, when you're going to the old arcade.
Yeah.
Actually, I want one of those now.
It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would keep instead of coins, it'd just be the chocolate gold can or the gold covered chocolate candy. So
Yeah.
have snacks. Although that's really crappy chocolate. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, I'd rather have Necco wafers in there.
Ugh. I'd rather have pennies and suck on the copper.
At least there's some flavor there. So some trivia. The episode's title is a reference to the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, in which certain Mel Gibson starred.
That was a Tina Turner venture, wasn't it?
Yeah, we don't need another hero.
I love that one, I think. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I guess we should talk about the elephant in the room. Mel Gibson is a monster, and he's in this episode.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't want it
yeah.
to stay in the episode.
Yeah,
we
well,
acknowledge that he's, awful.
at this time, he was still beloved by all.
Yeah.
Yells at his ex-wife, and then he yells at cops and uses racist slurs. And that was the end of his career until like 3 years after that. Then Hollywood's like, we forgive you, Mel.
Yeah.
And now he's back still, but people are still kind of afraid of him.
As they should be.
Yeah. Am I allowed to still watch old Mel Gibson movies?
I've heard that some people consume media from before the person was a monster, and they're okay with that. So I don't know. I think
Because I love Richard Donner's remake of Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in that, of course, as Brett Maverick.
Yeah.
I just think that movie's great, and Jodie Foster's in it, and she's adorable in that movie, and they play so well together.
Yeah.
And you know what? She forgives Mel, their friend, so I figure if she says it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And James Garner, and he's dead, so what does it matter?
Yeah, you can. I'll allow you to watch it. It's fine.
I watch Maverick at least once a year.
Yeah.
Doc Ock himself, Alfred Molina's in that movie.
I love me some Alfred Molina. He's a great guy.
He's the bad guy. Let's go talk about The Simpsons.
Alrighty, so we have a chalkboard gag that reads, Fridays are not pants optional.
We're observing that right now.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a kilt.
I'm wearing a thong.
And I'm drunk.
Me too. And now we have a couch gag.
Yeah, it's The Simpsons. They run into the living room and they find the Ullman era Simpsons already sitting on the couch. And the family screaming and run away in terror. I love the couch gag. Has that been used before?
I feel like it has been, but it's pretty classic.
If it took them 11 years just to do that couch gag, shame on you guys.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite things in The Simpsons is the reference to the Tracy Ullman animated versions of the family. Love it.
It's great. It's a lot of fun. It shows how far they've come and how far they still will go.
Would you like to see how far I will come?
I'm guessing it's like 2 or 3 inches.
I don't know. I've never tested.
Yeah, me neither. So our episode proper begins with a highway packed with cars, the air thick with smog. The camera pans over to show a playground as an announcer asks, is this the kind of air we want to leave for our children? The red-eyed children cough from all the air pollution, and one child attempting to climb up a slide passes out. We pan out to see Homer on the couch watching the commercial on TV whilst enjoying some potato chips and a nice cool duff. The ad continues.
Electricity, the fuel of the future. Test drive the Electoras today and get a free gift.
My children deserve to see me get a free gift.
I'm proud of you, Dad. Buying an electric car will help clean the air up and protect the Earth's supply. You're faking this to get the gift, aren't you?
But I like the nice things you said about me.
Thinking of saying goodbye to gas?
You betcha.
Bart? Well, that shut me up.
Hello. I love your planet deeply and am interested in purchasing one of your electronic autos.
Well, it's always nice to meet people concerned about the environment.
What kind of mint?
Marge just farting.
We're off to the bases.
I mean, welcome to season 11, everyone.
Yep.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's silly.
It is silly, and this is a very silly episode all around. I like Lisa, the light reading of Yeardley, where she stops mid-sentence and
Right.
is like, you're just doing this for the prize, aren't you?
No, it's great. And also, they're already talking about electric cars, and this is 99.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember electric cars even being around at this time, in our area.
No.
Probably only LA and New York. Maybe someone could get one.
Yeah.
Because even Prius, That was that was like about 5 years after this, maybe, that
Yeah, I
those
remember
started showing up.
like around 2006 or 2007. I worked at the World Trade Center, not that one, but the one in Portland.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. But they had charging stations there. So that was like 6 or 7 years after this. Well, the a little bit of trivia, the Electoris is a drivable vehicle in the Simpsons Road Rage video game and in Simpsons Hit and Run. And it resembles the real-life General Motors EV1.
When are those cowards going to remaster Hit and Run and put it on the new consoles?
We're long overdue.
Yeah.
They can do it to Tony Hawk. They can do it to Hit and Run.
Right. Well, speaking of Hit and Run, they hit the road for a test drive, Steve.
Ooh.
And Marge remarks that the quiet engine makes conversation a lot easier. Homer responds that there's like several other problems as well. He drives the car through the harbor and into the water. But Homer's not concerned because, it's an electric car.
That's right. And as they drive underwater, they pass by some fishes and dolphins and electrocuting them to death. Then the car continues, doing the same to some scuba divers and mermaids. They drive to the shore, and Homer comments that salt water seems to be good for the vehicle. And then it shorts out, and sparks are flying everywhere. And I got to say, it's interesting that there's dolphins. Are those like freshwater dolphins?
They're in the harbor.
Right.
And your concern is dolphins when there's clearly mermaids?
Listen, I don't know where mermaids live. I don't know. I just know that dolphins live by the ocean, normally.
Dolphins can live wherever they want, Steve.
I don't want to deny them anything.
All right. Well, Homer returns the Electoris to the dealership, disheveled from his wild ride, and he tells the dealer that the car does not meet his eco concern, but he gets his prize, an envelope, and he quickly drives off, leaving the flaming wreckage of the electric car that is crying for help. One of my favorite things is back at home, Marge and Homer in the bedroom, and they both make a realization.
Hey, we never opened that envelope to see what our gift is.
We didn't. That's odd. Seems like we would have done that right after we left the car place.
I know, but we didn't.
Well, here it is, so we can open it and find out now.
Perfect.
Movie tickets. It hardly seems worth destroying a car.
They're passes to a test screening of a new movie starring Mel Gibson.
Who else is in it?
Who cares? Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson is just a guy, Marge. No different than me or Lenny.
Were you or Lenny ever named sexiest man alive?
I'm not certain about Lenny.
Besides, it's not just his chiseled good looks. People magazine says he's a devoted father, goes to church every week, and likes to fix things around the home. Let's make love.
Okay. You're thinking about me, right?
Of course, homie. Aren't you thinking about me?
I will now.
Who's he thinking of?
Probably Lenny.
Right. There's a couple other Lenny things coming up here later.
Mm-hmm.
So that opening there, the trope of sitcoms, I think, they would do that, like, here's your prize, and then they do like the exterior shot of like the house later that evening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, what is it? Like, they've done this joke before in The Simpsons, right? I forget what it was.
Yeah, but it is really funny. Like, hey, we should do that. Also, the way they're talking feels very much like early improv when you are like trying to build the scene and you're, the phrase yes and, but you don't know much else. So you're just like, yes, and I am doing that too. We are at the place that you said we are. You're just more yesing and not anding.
And this has been Steve's improv second.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, and?
No, but.
The list of all the positive things that Mel Gibson does.
Mm-hmm. He goes to church, works
True.
around the house.
Yeah.
Has
lots
children.
Of kids.
Yeah. Because he did say that only God can decide how many children that you have.
Oh, boy. Let's go to the Aztec Theater, Steve, to watch this movie, okay?
Okay.
So there's a marquee that reads, test screening, no internet spies allowed. Wow. So two ushers push out the comic book guy onto the street, and he wonders how they knew he was an internet spy, and the ushers throw out his desktop computer and mouse on the ground, Steve. How did he get all that in there?
Yeah, where did he plug it in? I'm very excited for this person. Inside the theater, a murmuring crowd is introduced to Edward Christian, Assistant VP of Finance and Distribution at Polystar Pictures. The audience cheers, and Ned regrets not bringing his camera. Mr. Christian has also brought some guests to the screening.
Also with me tonight are the dynamic duo, William Milo and Robin Hanna, who greenlighted all of Shaquille O'Neal's movies, including Kazam. How's the popcorn, guys?
Needs salt.
Anywho, welcome to our test screening of Mel Gibson's directorial follow-up to Braveheart, a remake of the Jimmy Stewart classic, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Well, I shouldn't have passed on that.
Now, after the film, I'll be handing out these cards for your opinion. We then take your cards to Hollywood, California. And change the movie based on your suggestions. Any questions?
Yes, over here. Thank you. Hi. Will there be any flubber in this movie? Hi, Glavin.
No, I'm afraid not.
Ah, for crying out, Glavin.
Is Mel Gibson here?
No, sorry, but like all celebrities, he's in Hollywood attending benefits for various diseases.
Steve, you have something to say about Edward Christian there?
He's great.
Yes.
The way he says, anywho.
His demeanor.
Yeah, he's just pure joy. And we'll talk about him later. But yeah, I also love how excited everybody is to see the assistant VP of finance and distribution from Polystar Pictures. And just the idea that their cards are going to Hollywood.
So this is the only appearance, of course, of him is voiced by Jack Burns.
Monty's son?
I'll have you know, Jack Burns is an American comedian. He's still with us.
He was partnered with a...
Except for the fact that he died. Oh, shit.
This year.
Well, he died January 27, 2020 at age 86 due to respiratory failure. So that was like right before we really knew what was going on with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Andy Griffith's show.
He partnered with George Carlin.
Yeah. Muppet Show. Hee Haw. Saturday Night Live with Howard Cosell.
Wow.
Yeah. There you go. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Oh, he was also the voice of Sid the Squid in Animaniacs.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Jack Burns. Yeah. He plays such a fun character in this episode.
Yeah.
I think he's the star and not the Mel Gibson, in my opinion.
I agree. I almost, when I was picking clips, I almost wanted to do a thing where we had this Mel Gibson episode and we never played Mel Gibson.
Just played Edward.
But it was just too much work. And
because there is some good stuff that Mel Gibson does say, but of course, that's the writers. That's Mr. Scully.
Exactly.
Mulder's dad.
Exactly. So the crowd cheers as the movie is about to start when suddenly a door in the back of the theater opens. Who is that dashing figure in sunglasses? Why, it's Mel Gibson. He goes over to William Milo and Robin Hanna to ask if the audience enjoyed the film. And after the duo explain that the movie hasn't even started yet, he explains that he got to the theater from Hollywood so quickly by taking a ride on John Travolta's plane, and now he's going to have to help the Look Who's Talking star move over the weekend.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Boo, boo. Ooh.
So the movie execs tell Mr. Gibson that he has nothing to worry about and the screening is going to be fine, but Mel was a little concerned that his new film is a mistake because he just talks for 2 hours. He doesn't shoot anything. William and Milo think the flick is fabulous and they know Hollywood. So they discuss how the director's cut of Booty Call is, even though the original was pretty fabulous.
I love the word fabulous.
Do you think Booty Call was fabulous?
I don't remember.
Steve, I have a confession. I never saw Booty Call.
Me neither.
I have
There's a lot of classic films that we haven't seen. Go ahead.
And guess what? Never saw Mr. Smith Goes to Washington with James Stewart either.
I skimmed a Wikipedia article. He becomes a senator and he wants to build a camp for boys. But his mentor wants to build a more lucrative thing, and so he just goes to court or goes to the Senate and filibusters for 2 hours. So on screen, Mel Gibson is on the Senate floor giving an impassioned, of the Christ, speech about loving thy neighbor. Homer declares the movie to be boring, but Marge speaks about the character's passion for government. Homer retorts that the Jimmy Stewart version had a giant rabbit who ran the savings and loan, a reference to 2 other Jimmy Stewart films, Harvey and It's a Wonderful Life, both of which I have not seen.
Exactly, same here. But we know the references because the Simpsons thing.
Exactly.
I saw Donnie Darko. Didn't that have a rabbit? Is it the same movie?
It's basically, they're both imaginary rabbits or something.
Yeah.
My brother was in a stage production of Harvey.
It was probably the same level of greatness.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, so the screening is done. So the people of Springfield are praising what they just saw. And everyone loves it. Well, except that big fat oaf known as Homer, who found it to be a stinker. Yeah, what a jerk. Anyways, Marge liked that people solve their problems with words instead of bullets and chasing. And Homer tells Marge that she only liked it because her boyfriend Mel was in it. She would have hated it if he and Lenny were in it.
I like that he says they would have hated if he and Lenny were Mr. Smith.
Oh, yeah.
He or Lenny, just he and Lenny.
They're sharing the part.
Yeah.
So the Maverick himself is looking to make a quiet exit. So he decides to take a piss outside by the dumpster.
Sure.
Unfortunately, when he opens the door, an alarm sounds as Chief Wiggum tells the crowd, "Hey, everyone, rush towards the actor."
And in the background, you see posters for Space Mutants 12 and McBain 6. You have the right to remain dead. So that's fun.
Yay.
So Mel confronts the crowd by saying, "Hey, everybody," to which Dr. Dick replies, "Hi, Mr. Gibson."
I like that because there was like a pause and no one was saying anything.
He's like, I guess it's my turn.
I forgot about that line because, like, oh, come on. Dr. Nick needs to be there. And he was.
The actor thanks the crowd and tells them to be completely truthful on their comment cards. Honesty is the foundation of the movie business, after all. Mo swoons and Marge asks if Mr. Gibson will be personally reading the cards. He then kisses Marge's hand and tells her that he'll definitely be reading hers personally, then gives her a sexy growl. The crowd laughs, and a hoary lady next to Marge fans herself. But Homer is fed up. He angrily faces the Beaver Star, and as they fly back to Hollywood, Mel and the execs review the comment cards.
That's it. I'm telling Mr. Stupidest Man Alive what I really thought of his movie. Hey, Gibson.
Yes, sir.
Got a pencil?
There you go.
Thanks. Waste my time in front of it, stupid. Appreciate it.
The movie tested through the roof now. The sea captain gave it 4 R's. Bumblebee Man says muy bueno. And we were worried about the Latino market, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Worried. Come on, they can't all have loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it despite absence of flubber. Glavin? Oh, here we go. Your movie was more boring than church. All you did was yak, yak, yak. You didn't even shoot anybody. Damn, I knew it.
Don't do this to yourself, Mel. The guy's obviously a nut.
Maybe he's the only person with the guts to tell me the truth. Turn the plane around. I want to go to 742 Evergreen Terrace.
But you promised to help me move. Oh, jeez.
I like a lot in that clip. To start it, I really liked Homer's politeness while he's being rude to Mel Gibson.
Rude.
And yeah, Edward, that running line of right, huh, right,
Yeah.
huh?
Huh? Right. Yeah.
And the fact that they're referencing people in The Simpsons as if they know them.
Sea Captain gave it. Yeah, I do like the line read of no flubber, Glavin.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Steve. Good stuff.
Yes.
So our second act begins at 742 Evergreen Terrace as a jet rumbles through the house and shakes Maggie to her core. Unfazed, Homer calmly says, "Doorbell, Marge." The dotting wife opens the door to see Mel Gibson, and he's looking for Homer. And Homer is eager to face Mr. Gibson as well. The bard is encouraging Homer, but that's just because he wants to see his dad get beat up by the star of Lethal Weapon 1 through 4.
Oh yeah.
Was there a 5?
I feel like there should be, but no. I don't
thought
think
there,
so.
Well, I know
Maybe
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia did that parody thing like Lethal Weapon 5. Yeah, that was funny. Remember It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah, coming back for its 30th season.
Yeah, it's great. Hey, we have a clip.
Listen, Gibson, I'm tired of Hollywood pretty boys like you and Jack Valenti thinking you can have any woman you want. You see this? It symbolizes that she's my property and I own her.
Mr. Simpson, I need your help.
Huh?
I think you're right about my movie, and I want you to help me make it better.
Really? You want my help? Marge, did you hear that? Mel Gibson wants my help! Mel Gibson!
But, Dad, I thought you hated me.
Shut up.
Homer doesn't know anything about making movies.
Don't sell your husband short, Mrs. Simpson.
She's always doing that, Mel.
Homer is a brutally honest man, completely tactless and insensitive.
Guilty as charged.
The problem I have is people love me so much they never criticize me. I speed all the time, but cops never give me a ticket. If I don't pay my taxes, the IRS pays them for me.
Oh, you poor thing.
It's hell being Mel.
So that clip there of Mel, he really probably believes that in real life, and that's why many of the audio clips you can hear, he says horrible, horrible things.
Yeah.
The line with you and Jack Valenti thinking you can have any woman you want. Steve, Jack Valenti.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, American political advisor and lobbyist who served as a special assistant to U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson. He was also the longtime president of the Motion Picture Association of America. Born September 5th, 1921. Death April 26, 2007. Children Courtney Valenti, Alexandra Valenti.
He also was referenced a lot on the Warner Brothers cartoon Freakazoid.
You love that Freakazoid.
I do.
That's getting rebooted, right?
Probably.
All right. We're rebooted, right? This is our reboot?
Technically, yeah. I mean,
it sounds the same. This show sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, even Bill Oakley said so.
He called it crappy.
Yeah,
jerk.
You gave him a Big Mac just to say that, didn't you?
Yep.
You said I can't afford your cameo, so can I just send you a Big Mac?
I
And a
mailed
rib
it to him. Like I could have just drove it over, but
Yeah.
it took 2 weeks.
And oddly, like it tastes the same because it's a Big Mac. And
Yeah,
those
exactly.
things don't expire, apparently. Have you seen that? There's like people that have done like studies, like taking like just like a cheeseburger and put it like on a plate, not disturbing it,
Mm-hmm.
and like it never molds.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, but damn, are they good?
They are good. So yeah, it's funny because Mel Gibson making a bad movie and then not being well liked anymore. It happens.
Yeah, because he said I speed all the time, but cops never gave me a ticket. But the episode, of course, was 7 years before Gibson did get that speeding ticket and a DUI.
Yep. So Simpsons predicted it,
Yeah,
kind of. John Travolta, sitting in his Cessna jet on the street, honks his airplane horn impatiently as Mel asks Homer to come to Hollywood with him. Homer replies, "You had me at hello," despite the fact that Mel never said hello, and that's not his movie. They fly off, and Marge exclaims, "Hollywood, here we come."
And the plane lands at the George Kennedy Airport. Marge explains that Hollywood, here we are. Lisa tells her mother to stop doing that, and they head to Polystar Pictures, which has a sign that reads, "No artistic integrity beyond this point." And Homer's impressed that Mel has a minivan and asks if it's a Toyota Previa. Mr.
Ooh.
Gibson explains that it's an equally impressive Dodge Caravan. I really like the George Kennedy Airport's not real, but it's a parody of the JFK in New York, and George Kennedy is a famous actor.
Yeah,
Did
and he
George-
sold breath mints.
Did George Kennedy, he recently died, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, he died at 2016. The stars of Naked Gun. The only one that remains is everyone's favorite footballer.
Orenthal James?
Yeah, everyone's favorite Simpson.
That's right.
Yeah, everyone else in that movie's dead.
There is a God.
Although Priscilla Presley's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Everyone else after that, they're all gone, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Leslie
And-
Bibb, he died. I mean, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Mann.
Leslie Mann.
As they drive through the lot, Marge points out that there's a movie being filmed nearby. Robert Downey Jr. is shooting it out with the police, but Bart notices that there aren't any cameras. While Homer and Mel get to work on the film, Marge and the family are going to explore the city, and Homer recommends a restaurant where all the stars eat at, called Planet Hollywood. Bart wants to stay with Homer, but the father explains that there's a lot of work to do, as Mel's movie really stinks.
I like how at this time making a Robert Downey Jr. joke because he was going through drug problems and Hollywood essentially just wrote him off.
Yeah.
20 years later, look at now, he's like the most demanded actor. Makes like $1 billion a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Easily could have just stayed with those Marvel movies and would have got billions and billions of dollars. But you gotta move on from those stories, right?
Yeah, somebody needed another Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Or a remake of Dr. Dolittle for some reason.
Which you got millions for those, but we just want you as Tony Stark, man.
Yeah.
You even notice that Jon Favreau, just give him something that's like on his last legs or just like not interesting anymore and revitalize something. Like if you didn't have Jon Favreau, bringing Robert Downey Jr. in as Iron Man, just that little,
yeah,
like the studio, no one wanted Robert and they're like, fine, do it. And if it wasn't for Jon Favreau, you wouldn't have the MCU. And then all of a sudden, like Star Wars, like those sequel movies came out, and everyone's like, Star Wars is done. Then like he's like, fuck you, watch this. Here's Mandalorian, and now like Star Wars fans are like, all right, this is the best. And like there's like building up the Star Wars universe into like its own like new MCU with like, we don't need your fucking Han Solos and Darth Vaders and Luke Skywalkers. We got our own fucking like franchise that you're gonna like better than those pieces of shit that George Lucas created. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is Jon Favreau, I wish he would make this podcast better.
Get rid of us and just get
He would get fucking Baby Yoda.
yeah. Grogu and Robert Downey Jr. talk about The Simpsons.
It would be the number most like downloaded podcast ever.
Oh yeah.
I consider the most beloved modern Christmas movie with Elf.
Oh yeah. I always forget that's him, but yeah.
I mean, I think like Christmas Vacation was the last like good Christmas movie like you'd watch.
Mhm.
Everything else like after that is like, yeah, like Jingle All the Way, like Jingle Fuck You.
Yeah.
Do you consider Hook a Christmas movie because it does take place during Christmas time?
I guess, but I
But
don't.
it's not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman Returns.
That's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Home Alone, people.
Okay, but what came first, Home Alone or Christmas Vacation? Oh, it was a Home Alone. Okay, so maybe Home Alone was the last one, right? It was 1990.
Yeah.
And then, I don't think it was till like Elf, really, right?
Yeah.
There hasn't been one that's well, maybe that Kentucky Fried. No, that's not that one. I'm gonna say the Colonel. That was not a Christmas movie. Sharktopus goes to the North Pole. Was that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Christmas was like a week ago, Steve. Let's get off of that.
Yeah. Well, I've got a blunder for you.
All right, cool.
So when Homer is talking to Bart outside of the cutting room, he places his hand on Bart's right shoulder. However, when Homer removes his hand, his fingers are still on Bart's shoulder.
Oh no, his fingers fell off.
Ah!
4-finger discount, man.
Now they won't go fing.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
All right, Steve. Hey, we got a clip.
Okay.
Okay, this opening scene should be in fast motion. Everybody likes that because it looks funny.
Mr. Smith is coming to Washington. He's really honest. That could be bad news for us corrupt politicians. Well, even if he is, big deal. How do you think? Well, if he doesn't play ball, we'll teach him a thing or two, if you know what I mean. Goodbye. See ya.
Look at that.
I don't think so.
Okay, here you need a musical montage where you try on lots of funny hats. It'll let us see your playful side.
No.
Yeah, but...
Just no.
For those of you who've always wanted to see the famous Brown Derby restaurant, that's where it used to be. And on your left is the notorious spot where Hugh Grant filmed the movie 9 Months.
You want me to replace the villain with a dog? I mean, nobody will know what's going on.
They will if you set up that the dog is evil. All you have to do is show him doing this. And people will suspect the dog.
I think they're setting up something.
I think you're right.
I love Marge's disgust for Hugh Grant.
He's another one that they're like, oh, he's done. But, you know, The Undoing was a very popular series that was on HBO recently. HBO Max, I guess. And he was very good in it.
I didn't watch it.
It's, I don't want to spoil it, but
I've already listened to a podcast and they spoiled it. Like it's like he's the killer, right?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, but it's like obvious too. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
When you watch it, they try and make you think like it wasn't him because it would be too obvious. So you think that it was Nicole Kidman, but
Kevin Smith spoiled it for me. So
yeah,
blame him, everyone.
Yeah. Plus, it's been out for like a month now, so
that's fine. I'm actually watching The Flight Attendant
with Harley Quinn herself. Yeah. How is that?
We enjoy it.
Okay, I've been curious about it.
Hey, there's a blunder here, Steve.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The Hollywood tour guide mentions that the filming location of 9 Months, starring Hugh Grant, but it was actually shot on location in San Francisco.
Oh, boy.
I really hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Mm-hmm. Well, back in the cutting room floor, or in the cutting room, Mel is beginning to think that it was a bad idea to bring Homer to Hollywood. He apologizes to Homer and offers bus fare home, but Homer points out that what he thinks is the worst part of the film, the filibuster scene. But Mel argues that that was Jimmy Stewart's favorite scene. Homer said that it was fine for the 30s, as the country was doing great back then, because the movie was also in 1939. And everyone was into talking. But now, in whatever year this is, the audience wants action and seats with beverage holders, but mostly action. Homer feels that the scene is the most boring piece of trash he's ever seen, so Mel agrees to reshoot the ending.
So the rest of the family continues to see the sights and using a map of stars to find the dog from Frasier, Eddie, and where Ellen DeGeneres and at that time Anne Heche lived. The two are seen swinging on the patio, proudly saying, "We're lesbians." Back at the studio, Homer and Mel have reshot the final scene and are ready to show it to the film's executives. Mel's a little nervous, though, but Homer is confident in their art.
Okay, this new ending
that we shot last night
is a little different than what we had, but I think you'll like it. It's missing some sound effects, and the computer guys haven't added the twinkle in my eye.
Well, you're coming off desperate. Roll it, Louie! Here comes 2.
Anytime that I would watch a movie in a theater, which seems like so long ago, I always think about that line. When they would show the countdown and like, here comes 2.
But they never show countdowns in the theaters, do they?
It's been a long time since I've been to a movie theater. I don't remember anymore.
Went to the nickel theaters.
Yep. See the talkies.
The little talkies. The war is still raging.
The Kaiser is taking over the newspaper.
And then you're like, Kaiser.
He's on
Kaiser.
a roll.
Yeah. What's that scene like, Steve, that's going on in The Simpsons?
So the scene begins again in the hallowed halls of the DC Senate. Mel's character, Mr. Washington, is filibustering and then passes out. The other politicians murmur as Senator Payne comments that the other senator has yielded the floor, causing the room to laugh. Mel wakes up and says, "Yield this, Senator Payne," and then hurls an American flag through his opponent, causing him to fall, and the flag to wave triumphantly.
Mel continues by grabbing the ties of two men and slamming them onto the desk, then lifting the top of the desk and repeatedly hitting the senators' heads. And he moves to impose some serious term limits. Homer, dressed as a member of the press, because you could tell because he has a little press in his fedora, seconds that motion with vengeance and throws a Tommy gun down to Mel Gibson.
The Daddy's Home 2-star catches the firearm while he and Homer share a wink and a finger gun. And in the screening room, Homer and Mel do the same wink and finger gun. On screen, the action continues as Mel backflips onto a table and says, "All in favor, say die." He then does a Curly impression like, "Nyah, nyah, nyah," and then shoots his gun wildly, doing the Three Stooges walking on the floor in a circle thing that Homer did that one time.
So Mel Gibson's character does the Curly Howard's famous whoop, 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 whoop. Mel Gibson apparently is a huge fan of the Three Stooges, and he even directed a biopic of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
A Southern politician bangs his gavel for order, calling Mr. Smith's actions highly unorthodox. Mel throws a fire extinguisher at the senator, who hits it with his gavel, causing a massive explosion. A man with a top hat and a monocle busts in and states that he's the president of the United States and demands to know what's going on.
So Mel is his suit is all torn up and shirt open, grabs the Senate seal off the burning wall and throws it at the president of the United States, slicing his head clean off. The decapitated head rolls to Mel's feet, and he kicks it to his hands and grabs it by the hair, saying, "Happy birthday, Mr. President."
Just then, several boys run in cheering and pick up Mr. Smith and carry him out of the room while he's still holding the president's decapitated head. Mel takes out his U.S. Senate badge and flips it to the dead hand of Senator Payne. Payne grips the badge, and as the hand opens again, the badge reads, "The End." The studio heads then react to what they just saw.
Pretty cool, huh?
You chopped off the president's head.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
You impaled a United States senator with the American flag.
Why did Mr. Smith kill everybody?
It was symbolism. He was mad.
But this was going to be the studio's prestige picture, like Howard's End or Sophie's Choice.
Ugh, those movies suck. I only saw them to get Marge into the sack. P.S. Mission accomplished.
But we've already bought 5 Golden Globe Awards.
I don't make movies to win awards, especially now that I have 2 Oscars. I make movies for guys like him.
Yeah, guys like me.
Who are you anyway?
Do the words executive producer mean anything to you?
Executive producer?
We'll talk.
You've desecrated a classic film. This is worse than Godfather 3.
Whoa, hey, whoa. Let's not say things we can't take back.
So many good things in that scene.
Yeah.
The animation, just the reaction of the studio exec's face of like what they just saw. Like literally like killing the president of the United States. Oh, the tropes that they're parodying. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I almost want to watch that clip again. That whole scene of the reshoot, it's so good.
It's so ridiculous, the action in it.
I can't tell you anything else about how much I like that scene.
Yeah, it's really good. So Edward Christian tells him that the film will never see the light of day, and he goes to burn the celluloid when Mel thinks fast and says that a Range Rover is getting towed away. This distracts the movie, folks, and with a yoink, Mel grabs the film reel, and he and Homer are off to show the movie.
We've got to get that film back or we'll all be fired, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Fired.
Steve's favorite joke again.
It's almost my favorite joke. I'll let you know when we get to my favorite joke.
Okay. So the third act begins, and Homer and Mel are jumping on a golf cart and heading out to the studio, and Edward and his team chase after them, where they drive by the set of Rainier Wolf Castle's latest film, Saving Irene Ryan, which shows the McBain star Karen, the grandmother of the Beverly Hillbillies, through the war zone, and she repeatedly kicks him in the groin. Steve, I want to say this is a blunder, but maybe not. This was an episode in 1999. Irene Ryan died in 1973, Steve. So,
oh, wow.
Maybe it was who played her in the movie.
Oh, that's a good question.
Diedrich Bader, was that?
Yeah, Jim Varney. Beverly D'Angelo. There we go. No.
That's a hot granny.
No, why does Chevy Chase always fantasize about that other woman?
You're right. What was that? Kathy or Christy Brinkley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because we're biased because we're a Simpsons podcast and she's Lauren Lapkus.
Lumpkin.
She's Lauren Lapkus.
Yeah, she's Lauren Lapkus. Oh, ho. So it was Cloris Leachman was Grandma.
That's actually good casting.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
She's still with us though.
As they avoid soldiers and tanks, Mel points out that there's a landmine that Homer is heading towards, and Homer states that he's on it and then drives over it, causing the car to soar into the air, out of the studio lot, and through the billboard advertising the film. She's having a baby again.
Why is there a live mine on the films?
I don't know. Seems very dangerous.
Maybe it's just like not a real mine. You know, it's what they use in like little springboards when you step on it and go boing, boing, boing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So the two men crash to the ground, and Mel offers that his age may prevent him from similar adventures.
Oh, I'm getting too old for this crap.
How old are you anyway?
Well, I've been told I can play anywhere from 28 to...
Sorry I asked. Oh, crap, here they come!
Well, that's it, Homer. We should have known better than to match wits with studio executives.
Hey, come on, turn that down under frown upside down. We're not finished yet!
Hey, it was not a blunder, but maybe it is. He does the famous line, "I'm getting too old for this." Well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's Danny Glover's line in Lethal Weapon, not Mel Gibson's.
Yeah.
Really just hope Mike Scully got fired for that blunder.
I mean, I think he did eventually. Similarly, speaking that we're just coming out of the holiday season.
It's the holiday season.
And speaking of Home Alone.
Whoop-de-doo.
When...
Victory dog, don't forget to suck this cock. She'll be coming around.
When actor John Hurd, who plays the dad in Home Alone, would meet people, he would yell Kevin like Catherine O'Hara does, just because he wanted people to recognize him.
It'd be like Bill Murray when you meet him. He'd be like, "I'm just a wild and crazy guy."
Yeah. Anyway, he seems like a sad man.
Did he just die?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, everyone's dying on this podcast.
It's true. Except for us. Except for me.
So Homer points to the Hollywood Auto Museum, where inside we see the Monstermobile, the Monkey Mobile, and the Batmobile, where Burt Ward and Adam West are acting as dummies. Marge and the kids happen to be there sightseeing, and Bart points out how good the dummies look. And Adam West thinks it's all the plastic surgery. But Burt Ward shushes him, and that's the dynamic duo partner, saying that Mr. Lamato will fire them if he doesn't stop bothering their customers.
Homer runs into his family, but when Marge asks what he's doing, he replies, "No time talk. Need still car. Must say powerful but controversial movie." He then sees the movie execs and look around to explore his options. There's the Flintstones Mobile, Herbie the Love Bug, the Dukes of Hazzard's General Lee, and finally, Homer's pick, the Road Warrior car, complete with its own Mad Max dummy.
You know what I think they could have put in there as a side joke?
They
should have put Homer Simpson's car from when he designed his own car.
Yeah.
Just as like a sight gag, like just like pan like really quick just to see that. And like if you had like a VCR at the time, you could pause.
That would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Or even just the Simpsons car would be kind of funny. I don't know. I'm saying that. But anyways, Homer tells Mel to get it. But Mr. Gibson just wants to give up their stupid movie. But Homer offers an impassioned speech worthy of Mr. Smith himself.
Movies aren't stupid. They fill us with romance and hatred and revenge fantasies. Lethal Weapon showed us that suicide is funny.
That really wasn't my intention.
Before Lethal Weapon 2, I never thought there could be a bomb in my toilet, but now I check every time.
It's true, he does.
Movies mean that much to you, Homer?
They're my only escape from the drudgery of work and family. No offense.
Oh, what the heck. Let's hit the road.
Steve, do you feel the same way about movies as Homer does?
No, of course not. That's how I feel about TV.
Yeah.
So Mel pushes his stuffed counterpart aside, and he and the family drive the Road Warrior car through the window of the Auto Museum, much to the disgust of Adam West. Once again, Burt Ward tells him to shut up.
So the execs continue to chase Mel and Homer down Hollywood and Vine, and Mel swerves through the traffic, and they pass by the legendary Man's Chinese Theater next to it, the less impressive Chinese Man's Theater. The movie people are gaining on them, and Mel has an idea to throw the dummy at them, which then flies off their car and is repeatedly ran over.
Mom, you gotta take my picture in this car so I can show Milhouse.
I'm sorry, honey. I used up the last row on that man I thought was Judge Judy.
Well, I think we lost him. Oh, wait, there they are.
Let me try something. Take the wheel, Lisa.
But my dad...
I said you.
We've got him now.
Oh no! We killed Mel Gibson!
You all saw it. He came at me with a knife, right?
Wait a minute. He's just a dummy.
I know, but he sells tickets. Let's go.
The way that he paused.
Yeah, that long pause.
For the laugh.
No one laughed.
I did.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You're a big Jack Ryan fan.
I guess I am. I'm going to go watch some Muppets and some Hee-Haw. Probably some more Muppets than Hee-Haw, actually.
I said Jack Ryan.
I also like military things.
I meant Jack Burns.
Yeah.
It's probably because I have Irene Ryan on my mind.
Don't we all?
Dad! I don't know. Was that her catchphrase? I never watched Beverly Hillbillies.
No.
Oil!
California different than South.
Anyways, Homer is in front of Mel's plan, and he says it's his turn. So he hits the emergency brake and announces that he's tired of running away. Did Braveheart run away, Steve? Did Payback run away? No, it's time to show those suits what he's made of. So Edward and his gang turn the corner, and they see Mel and Homer with their pants down their ankles, mooning them. And Robin says that one of them on the left is Mel Gibson, but she doesn't know who the other two guys are. Because Homer's fat.
Yeah. Mel asks Homer to explain the rest of the plan, but Homer responds that it's his plan from Braveheart. His army mooned the enemy until they could take no more and surrendered. But Mel points out that the enemy didn't surrender and that it ended with a horribly bloody battle. Homer admits that he didn't see the movie, but on the poster...
Hey, I've never seen Braveheart.
Yeah, me neither.
Which is weird because it's like a more contemporary film.
I really would have thought that you would have seen it. It seems like a movie that you'd like.
No.
Yeah, that's fine. Bet you my dad saw it and liked it.
I know it's historically inaccurate, and so I'll give you this. Another historically inaccurate film that Mel Gibson stars in that I love is actually The Patriot.
Okay.
I've seen that.
Cool.
There's that cool scene where someone, like a cannon, is shot and it just looks like a ball rolling on the ground, but it just takes out some dude's leg. That's The Patriot, right?
Yeah.
That was funny. And Heath Ledger's in it, and he dies. Spoilers.
Oh, no.
And the worst part of that movie is Jason Isaacs is the bad guy, the British guy. He fucking like locks a town in like a church and burns it down.
Oh God.
Yeah, that didn't happen. The British weren't that evil to like lock up the women and children in this town and burn this church. That never happened. Yeah,
and I think that like if you were to look at it from like a more neutral standpoint than America, not a political podcast, but we're like religious nuts that left. And then just claim this land to be ours just because.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's because Europe was starting to become more accepting to other religions, whereas the people on the Mayflower were like, no, screw that. We're Puritans. Let's only create this Puritan society over in the New World because we're not accepted over here.
Yeah.
Or we don't want to accept others. So it gets to like in this country where everything is going right now, and I understand things.
Yeah.
We're not an accepting country. And not a political podcast.
That's right.
Back to The Simpsons.
So just then, the exec's car comes speeding towards them. Mel jumps to safety, but Homer is rammed squarely in the ass and is hurled back, the vehicle wedged in between his ample behind. Mel asks if he's okay, and at first he says he thinks so, but then as he takes a step and the car drags behind him, he says no. Back in Springfield, the Aztec Theater is showing Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, a Gibson-Simpson joint.
All in favor? Say die.
Ooh, that digital sound really lets you hear the blood splatter.
I don't get it, Mel. How can you be so calm and cool? My stomach's full of vomiting butterflies. Okay, that's it. Let's get ready to meet our public.
Well, that was disgusting. Worst ending ever.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I'm Jimmy Stewart's granddaughter, and you'll be hearing from my attorney.
Ow.
Oh, we should have put in the dog with the shifty eyes. I'm sorry I ruined your career, Mel.
It's not your fault, Homer. I guess there's just no room in today's crazy, gentle America for violent dinosaurs like us.
How did the country lose its way, Mel? When did we stop rooting for the man with the flamethrower or an acid-spraying gun of some kind?
I blame the internet and the return of swing music.
Well, whatever it is, we gotta get rolling on our next picture. Hey, what about a prequel to something? Everybody loves prequels.
I don't.
Okay, Mr. Difficult. How about a teen sex romp where you and your buddies are always trying to get some? No, wait! A ghost who wins the lottery! You could be the ghost or the lottery commissioner. Oh, what about Indiana Jones? Does anyone own the rights to that? Hey, Mel! I fell out!
hey, Homer, your company, Disney, owns the rights to Indiana Jones. You can make an Indiana Jones movie.
That's right.
And I love that the choices are like, you can be the guy who wins the lottery or the lottery commissioner. That's the episode. So we pan out on a dog with shifty eyes, truly the enemy all along. And that's the episode.
Alrighty, Craig. Well, should we take a break and then talk about Beyond?
Absolutely.
Wait, those are two different shows.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Craig, let's finish up our discussion of Beyond Blunderdome, find out our favorite quotes, our MVJ, what we want on a t-shirt or two, and find out what we're watching next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty, so for visual things, I have one that's very obvious, but I think it's the right choice.
Let me guess. You want shifty dog eyes.
You got it.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious great choice because it's great on a shirt. It's great on a tattoo. I'm too lazy to look it up, but I bet there's already a shifty dog eye t-shirt out there you can probably buy on TeePublic. That's not our site.
That would make sense.
But if not, maybe we should. I will think about it. So I have actually a couple here that I wouldn't mind for a t-shirt.
Okay.
One was the beginning, the two Lenny lines when Homer says, he was people's sexy. Mel Gibson was on People's Sexiest Man.
Mm-hmm.
Marge says, were you and Lenny ever on the cover of People's Sexiest Man Alive? And Homer's like, well, not me, but I'm not sure. Or he's like, I'm not sure about Lenny. What I'm trying to get at is I would like a People magazine with Lenny on it as saying Sexiest Man Alive.
I like that a lot.
The other one is McBain movie poster saving Irene Ryan. I think it would be fun, but you can almost deck it out as actually Arnold Schwarzenegger and Irene Ryan, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as a movie poster. I think it'd be kind of a fun visual gag. But I think you're right. I think it has to be shifty dog eyes.
Or you could always have the electrocuted mermaids.
Yeah, you could. But I'm
I
not
won't.
going to. You got to go with shifty dog eyes. It's too
Yeah.
classic. Or it's another good one. Is I don't know what this is saying, but I'm not condoning this. But the fictional president in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, decapitated head, or the senator with the flag.
Yeah.
And
It just says all in favor say die.
Or how about that? She's having a baby again. Anything from the scene from the remake or the ending of Mr. Smith. What about Mel Gibson and Homer mooning?
That's an option.
There's actually one of those where there's like so many visual gags from this episode that I'm like, get them all on t-shirts, get them all on tattoos.
Yeah.
Get them all on flip books, get them all on pillows, get them all on whatever. Flip books.
Flip books.
I have no idea. How about quotes? Scenes?
Well, hands down, my favorite character, my MVJ, is Edward Christian.
Yeah, I'm going with that too.
He's hilarious. I love the running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That joke and just the. I don't want to say acting, but like the way it's like, he's just a dummy. Yeah, but he sells movie tickets. That joke just cracked me up, and I like the 3 times that I watched this episode, it made me laugh every time, and I waited for it. So yeah.
So let's give it to Jack Burns as our MVJ.
Yep. I'd say a close runner-up is Marge, surprisingly.
With the fart.
With the fart and just the Hollywood, here we come.
Yeah.
Hollywood, here we are. Shut up, Mom.
Those are good ones. I think I have to agree with you. I think I said at the beginning too, I liked the Marge fart. Yes, I know it's like crass and like we're now in the humor where dick and fart jokes are all over our sitcoms. This is also the year that Family Guy starts, so that's a very like a Family Guy-esque joke, but
yeah, I
think it would start up like few months after this episode, in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta go with that joke. All the stuff in the Homer being polite when he was trying to be mean to Mel Gibson, and when Mel says hi everybody and Dr. Nick, shifty dog guys, yeah, it's all good,
Yeah, and even like when we first meet Edward Christian and like the audience is just so happy that he's from Hollywood.
Yeah, Jack Burns, that's the MVJ. That everything he's in. I wish that studio exec. Well, we can't because he passed away last year. But it's a character that they should have brought back.
Yeah, and it is kind of like I like the way that they portray Hollywood people in general, like in the Radioactive Man movie, where they're all like sweet and caring.
Yeah,
and like when like they lose all their money and they come back and like, oh, don't worry, Hollywood will take care of you. Like I don't know, I just like this fantasy world where Hollywood is not cutthroat and it's just they're just sweet.
Well, your final thoughts on this episode?
Obviously, what we perceive Mel Gibson to be now kind of does put a dark mark on this episode. But if you remove that, this is a silly, fun episode with Homer being really kind of dumb but fun, not super mean, not quite jerk-assy. And the escapades that he goes through are just wacky and silly and fun. The movie clips are insane. The violence is just so ridiculous. It's funny. And, you know, it's just a fun ride that's kind of dumb, but it's enjoyable. Like, it was just a pleasure to watch. So I'm going to say that Mel Gibson was sentenced to 10 years in prison. And I don't know how many he actually served, but I'm going to give this 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that this episode, what they're trying to, you know, convey to us as audience is like, look how ridiculous Hollywood is these days. And at that time, that's kind of how I feel about that. And it hasn't really changed. And it's kind of interesting. This is also coming to the time where, you know, we're coming out of the golden age of The Simpsons. We're starting the modern age. And you didn't really rely on pop culture references on The Simpsons. I mean, to an extent where you could do like classic movie references because those will always be there. But things like the Robert Downey Jr. thing, you know, at that time that he was, you know, troubled. And then also, you know, the Hugh Grant joke, which is troubled. So if you're watching this as a modern audience, be like, Robert Downey Jr., he's awesome. He's Iron Man. What happened? Like some kids watching this, like then looking in the past of these people like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, then seeing like but they probably know like Mel Gibson is garbage person. It's interesting. So we're kind of getting into that era, and that I think that's the one thing that kind of puts it back for me.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
At the time jokes, but I still chuckled. I mean, Marge farting, like you would never see like seasons 1 through 4, Marge farting and making a fart joke essentially.
Yeah,
and being, you know, so silly. You know, it's still one of those episodes. I mean, because you're coming off of season 10, and like you're still in that like golden age mode, and it's an episode I've watched many times. It does feel like a spectacle episode, and it very much is because it was the season premiere, and you're one of the biggest stars is guesting on it. But I still enjoy it. So that being said, Mel Gibson has he's directed 5 films as of current. This is excluding his TV movie documentary for Mel Gibson Goes Back to School, and excludes 3 episodes of Complete Savages. And it is announced that he's directing The Wild Bunch, but we're just going with his classic films: Man Without a Face, Braveheart, Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, and Hacksaw Ridge. So 5. I explain it all. So out of 5, I'll give this episode I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
3.5, that's fair.
To be fair, I feel like our listeners have probably seen this episode many times, so it's not like check it out.
I think it's one that you either seen or haven't. I'll just say though that watching it as an adult, I think I appreciated it a lot more than I did back then. Yeah, the jokes just hit for me in the right way.
And everyone knows Shifty Dog Eyes.
Yeah, that's right. Also, Here Comes 2 is another quote that I really like.
How about Here Comes what we're watching next week?
Alrighty, and to do that, we'll need our Wheel of Random. All right, let's spin it to see what season we are in. Ba-doop.
We got season 27.
Season 27. Let's give it another spin to see what episode we're watching. Ba-doop.
Episode 21.
Season 27, episode 21. Why, that's an episode called Simprovized.
All right. Well, Homer embarrasses himself while trying to read a speech at work. Then he turns to an improv comedy to regain his confidence for the public speaking. And then I guess B story is Marge decides to rebuild Bart's treehouse. Originally aired May 15th, 2016. Written by John Frink.
Interesting.
Steve, do you remember, did you ever watch this episode since this was probably the time you were doing an improv?
Yes, it was. And it was, at the height of it. And I have seen this episode.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they do 2 live endings, like for West Coast and East Coast, where they literally, like Dan Castellano was doing a live improv at the end as Homer?
Yes. And I recently watched this episode on Disney Plus, and I could only find one version, but it is interesting. So
I assume it's probably the East Coast version.
yeah, so we'll have a lot to talk about.
All right. You're excited for you got your homework cut out for you, I think.
Indeed, I do.
Well, not really your homework, your knowledge of improv. And I'll just say this, Steve, we're in Starbucks. Go.
That'll be $1 million because it's Starbucks.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we don't have anything that's $1 million on tpublic.com yet, but you could go there, tpublic.com/user/annoyedgruntboys, and pick up a shirt or two, coffee mug, whatever. Contact us on the social medias of Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Are we on Parler yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's at 138Simpsons.
And you can always email us at 138simpsons@gmail.com. And if you're so kind, go to your favorite podcatching app and leave us 5 stars or the equivalent and write a review. But it doesn't have to be a real review. You can write your favorite Jack Ryan role. Nope. Your favorite Mr. Burns, Jack Burns role.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. For this week, I've been half an annoyed grunt boy, Craig.
And I've been your other half annoyed grunt boy, Steve.
And remember, keep watching the skis.
Know what I mean? Get it?
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it.
Well, that was a stinker.